Okay, we are back with the HP small form factor build, and there was a video before when I picked this up and I talked about what I sort of wanted to do with it. This is an old HP. I forgot the model number again already. It was a HP Compact Pro 6300. It's a 3rd gen Intel processor. Basically worthless at this point. Supposedly you can't play games or use Windows 11. And so I wanted to turn it into a low-end gaming PC because I have not done a small form factor gaming PC budget build yet. And so I was going to originally use this GPU. Even though it's a small form factor, I was just going to put it in sideways with a riser cable and be done. But I was talking with some buddies and I thought it would be funny if we could make sort of a challenge of who could build the cheapest, coolest looking small form factor build. And so you have the category of scoring is basically the cheaper the graphics card, the cheaper the whole price is for all the parts, the more points you get. So it's price to performance, and then you get points for the performance, of course, in benchmarks and games, and then you get points for looking cool. So in my head, I was going to use this cooler on here and just cut a hole in the panel, because one of the rules is that the panel has to close. Even if you cut holes in it, it still has to close. And you have to use the original power supply. I wanted to use this just because it's the biggest cooler that I have and it looks cool, but it won't fit with the DVD drive in there. And I want to keep the DVD drive because I want it to be able to do emulation. I mean, obviously you could just take this out and then do more stuff, but I really want to keep this in here. And I want to use the original power supply just to show what's possible with this kind of thing. So as you can see, this GPU was perfect because it fits. If you remove the bracket, it fits right behind the CPU cooler. And that's all you would need. And this is an 8GB AMD. It's kind of, I forget the model number, but it's kind of equivalent to a 900 series NVIDIA, I think. It's kind of a weird model, but for some reason this doesn't work anymore. It'll boot, but whenever I boot into Windows, it just crashes. And it's only this GPU. I thought that there was a different problem, but so I can't use that. So I had the M4000 here, and I thought this is perfect because see how it fits behind the cooler? And all you would have to do, sticks out a little bit, is just cut a little hole right here for it to stick out, and that's it. Easy. And then the shroud, the little shroud right here, you could just cut this part out and it would be done. But since it's a challenge of doing some mods, I thought I would make it a little more interesting. It's actually running right now with Windows 11. My test bench SSD is here. The hard drive's not hooked up and the DVD drive is not hooked up yet because I just wanted to make sure it worked before I started. So I just I did the SATA to 6-pin cable. This is a very low power card. And I know people are scared of those adapters, but this card uses hardly any power, so it's fine. I would really like to get something like a GTX 1060 in here or an RX 580. Problem is that cooler's in the way. So it's actually running right now. I don't know if you can hear the fan. I probably should turn it off before I start playing with it. And then I bent this. The reason why I didn't cut this yet is because I don't know which card I'm going to use. And also, when all of this is said and done, I'm going to give it to somebody else. So I don't want to cut the metal away completely until I'm done. So it's just bent to see. I just wanted to see how it would do. But the thing is, you would normally take the bracket off of here, or you could actually leave the bracket in some cases if it's a display port, since there's nothing sticking out. You could make a little nut and screw here to screw it down so it's secure, because it's a very exact space of how much room there's. So I'll give you an example. Let me just shut this down first. So this one's out for the moment. We're not going to use that because it's too big. And I want to use a card, something like, this is just for example. This is an RX 580. And you see, if you put this in, I don't know if it'll fit with the, oh, well, it kind of fits actually, but yeah, the problem is these use a little more power, and that's a little scary. But I'll show the finished product at the end, and then the prices for everything. All of this stuff was free, so I'm just going to use market price. But I'm guessing the tower is, what, $30 or something? I mean, you can get these for free all the time because it's a 3rd gen, not a 4th gen. And then just to recap, the fan that it uses to cool everything is just this one. And it routes air here into this. There's one little fan for the power supply, and it just kind of, you know, it doesn't get very hot. So what I want to do is, I have some options here. We're going to just use what's available. I don't want to go buy new stuff. I have this guy, and I still haven't found a place to use it yet. So this is some sort of Thermaltake CPU cooler. I don't have a fan for it. So I was thinking of putting that there and then just have it stick out of the panel with the hole cut. But see, you can't put it that way because then it would hit the GPU. But see how this is very skinny? I'm wondering if I can put it this way, if there would be enough room for the GPU as well. And then see, the fan is still going to blow air in here. Actually, this I used on a different system, and it had no fan, and it never get hot because that's a very low power CPU. I have this one also. It's just black. It's more thick and it's kind of damaged, but this has Intel brackets, I believe, already. The problem with this one is it was for an AMD, and it has an Intel pattern, but when I tried to put it on the Intel, it didn't seat all the way. And I think because these maybe came with washers before, it would mount with the bracket, but it wasn't, it was a little bit loose. Or maybe I have the wrong screws, not sure. Ideally, I would use this one, but we can use this one. Or I have this one, which should fit for sure, that you saw before. And then I could, in theory, just not have this fan and just have this. But see, look, now there's no room for the GPU. So then I would need a riser cable to put the GPU over here, and then that's, you know, starts to get complicated. So I'm not sure. Or I have a little baby AIO I could put there, and then this could be here, but I think that might be too much heat. Or I could make a hole in the panel and the tubes would go through, and then I would just screw this to the panel on the outside. So that's a possibility. But yeah, I'm not sure. One of those options. So I'm going to do some test fitting. And then what I'm going to use for benchmarks is Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, CPU Z for the CPU, and probably Heaven for the GPU. So let me go ahead and take this off and see what fits. We'll be back shortly. So here we are. The tower fan coolers that I have, none of them will fit in this bracket setup. I have my water cooler set up from my test bench, so that does fit, I think. But the problem is you can't fit any cards there because it hits here. And all of the other tower fans that I used had the same problem. This is too far this way, so I either have to do a riser or I'm gonna try this. I wanna see if this will fit without the fan shroud. If it doesn't, then we might do the riser like this. And then we'll cut a hole in the case panel for the fans. So let me try that and we'll be right back.
Want to play Fortnite?
Oh, why? Because I'm all out of money! All out of...